What's up? Dave here, and today we're diving deep into a stock that's been making waves, and not always the good kind, Moderna, ticker MRNA. Its price action has been wild, leaving a lot of you asking, is the bottom in for Moderna? Well, we've done the deep dive, the multi-step analysis, and I'm about to reveal everything you need to know. All right, let's kick things off with what everyone's buzzing about regarding mRNA. The general sentiment out there is pretty cautious, and for good reason. We've got news from the FDA signaling potentially stricter vaccine approval rules, which could throw a wrench in Moderna's future pipeline. This isn't just chatter. It sent the stock tumbling around 7% on initial reports, showing how sensitive investors are. Combine that with some mixed financial results, we're seeing declining revenues, and the company's still navigating profitability challenges, and you've got a recipe for investor apprehension. The narrative is clear. mRNA is at a critical juncture, facing some significant headwinds. So, who is Moderna Inc. anyway? If you're new to the game, Moderna is a biotechnology company headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts. They're all about discovering, developing, and commercializing messenger RNA, mRNA, therapeutics across a huge range of areas: infectious diseases, oncology, rare diseases, you name it. They've got a robust pipeline, including respiratory vaccines like COVID-19, flu, and RSV, plus a whole host of others. Now, what's their game plan going forward? Moderna's official guidance is ambitious. They're looking to expand their seasonal vaccine portfolio, push forward with their oncology pipeline, and they're aiming for $500 million in annual cost savings to hit cash break-even by 2028. Big plans, but the market's got questions. Now for the juicy stuff, folks, our multi-scenario analysis. First, let's talk about reconciling that market narrative with the company's ambitious guidance. On one hand, you have the market expressing clear worry over regulatory hurdles and current financial performance. On the other, Moderna's management is confidently pushing forward with new products and cost-cutting. It's like a tug of war, and our scenarios help us weigh who's winning. We started by calculating Moderna's current implied LTM revenue at about $2.065 billion, based on its market cap and PS ratio. That's our baseline. Now, let's break down the possibilities. First up, our base case, which we're giving a 40% probability. Why 40%? Because while the regulatory challenges are real, Moderna has established products and strong cost control initiatives. We think there's a good chance they navigate these waters, albeit with some friction. In this scenario, we project a modest 5% growth for NTM revenue, bringing it to about $2.168 billion. Applying the current PS multiple of 4.57, that gives us a base case market cap of around $9.91 billion. With roughly 390.73 million shares outstanding, our fair value per share lands at $25.36. Next, let's look at the bull case, which we're assigning a lower 15% probability. Why so low? Because while institutional investors like Charles Schwab are increasing their stake, the technicals show the stock is far from resuming an uptrend, needing to hold above $29.30, which it currently isn't. For this to play out, Moderna would need to absolutely crush it. Think streamlined FDA processes, MNEX spike and mRESVIA exceeding expectations, and that oncology pipeline delivering some serious positive Phase 3 results ahead of schedule. We project a robust 15% NTM revenue growth, hitting $2.375 billion. With that kind of optimism, we'd see an expanded PS multiple of 6.0, bringing the market cap to $14.25 billion. That puts our bull case fair value at a cool $36.47 per share. Finally, we come to the bear case, and this is where the probabilities get interesting. We're giving this one the highest chance, a 45% probability. And honestly, folks, the technical analysis is a huge factor here. As we'll discuss in a moment, the stock is clinging to critical support at $24, and it's formed a bearish head and shoulder pattern. If that $24 breaks, the technical downside target aligns almost perfectly with our bear case valuation. So, in this scenario, those FDA rules hit hard, leading to significant pipeline delays and higher R&D costs. Commercial adoption of their new vaccines underperforms, and cost savings just aren't enough. We project an 8% decline in NTM revenue, dropping to $1.899 billion. Investor confidence would be shot, leading to a compressed PS multiple of 3.0. This brings the market cap down to $5.697 billion, and our bear case fair value is $14.58 per share. All right, let's pull up the chart. Here's what I'm seeing based on our in-depth technical analysis. mRNA stock has formed a head and shoulder formation, which is typically a bearish reversal pattern, and it's currently sitting right at a key support level of $24. Now, this is critical. If this $24 support breaks, folks, the downside target, folks, is around $14.50. On the flip side, to even think about resuming an uptrend, the stock has to maintain above $29.30. So we've got a clear battleground here. So, is the bottom in for mRNA? Based on our multi-step analysis, with the highest probability assigned to our bear case and the precarious technical setup signaling significant downside if that $24 support breaks, I'm going to have to say the bottom is not in yet. The regulatory headwinds are substantial, and while the company has a strong vision, the market narrative and technicals are pointing towards more pain. Before we see any real sustained recovery, this isn't a stock you want to jump into without extreme caution. Given our scenario analysis and the technical picture, if you're looking to play this long-term, I'd be watching for a potential entry closer to our bear case fair value, around the $14.50 to $15 range, especially if that $24 support gives way. Otherwise, for the more optimistic base case, the $25 to $26 range could be interesting on confirmed stabilization, but that's a much riskier bet right now given the current probabilities. All right, you made it this far, so you know the drill. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel episodes, and drop a comment below. What do you think about mRNA? Are you bullish or bearish? This content is for informational and educational purposes only and is not investment advice. Investing in securities involves risks, and you could lose money. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not a recommendation to buy or sell any security.